How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. I'm really good. Been awake for
Happy.
hours. Great.
Yeah, I know. It's also been absolutely freezing in LA.
Crazy.
Um,
Well, considering I think we're
yeah.
both East Coast girls, but we've probably acclimated to LA. It's like 54 and I'm wearing like a large like anorak, like as though it's snowing.
Yeah. No, I've definitely gotten soft since moving from the East Coast.
Me too. Oh my God, it's bad.
Oh, do we both have the same heads behind us?
Oh, yes. Oh my gosh. I love it. That's hilarious. Yes, we
Yeah.
do.
There's like some of them I always have to be really careful because
Yeah,
there was
because you look like a
one
devil. Yes.
I was sitting like this the whole time and I was like,
Someone
oh no.
screenshot this. Oh, my dog, of course, just walked into my phone. Um,
Well,
so
looks like we have a couple people joining. All right, it's 12/9. All right, everyone. So thank you guys for all joining and being here today. For anyone that's hopping on for the first time today, I'm Jessie Gray Rubenstein, and I'm Anne Klein's daughter. So we really started this series to honor her legacy because, during these times of uncertainty and just absolute craziness, her message of power and empowerment and strength and just her ability to really look in the future and um, have a great concept of what was coming up is something we could all use right now. And this series was really started to really honor this time with some amazing women like Alana, who are just
I'm
doing incredible
honored.
things. So,
Thank
Alana,
you.
thank you for being here today.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it, and I'm really excited to chat with you.
Yeah, me too. So anyone from the Anne Klein sign that's joining, Alana is kind of like the modern Renaissance woman. This girl does it all. Um,
Thank you.
she is in fashion. She does so much for the community. So Alana, I'll just kind of like let you go first. Like
Sure.
first, like what are some of the things you're working on right now? I There's a lot, so
Yeah,
I'll let you take it
sure,
away.
sure. There's a lot. You're right. There's a lot. And it's funny that I think something that I do and that a lot of women I know do is not give ourselves enough like accolade for the amount of work that we're doing in life. So I appreciate you saying that. But sometimes I have to say, I think I'm not doing enough. But I am the co-founder and designer of my clothing brand, Lotta Trust. This is
I was
one
just
of
gonna ask if
mine.
you're wearing it right now.
Yeah, I am.
So
I'm
cute.
always wearing it. I mean, it's sweats, mostly sweats. So, this now is the time for my brand.
Yes.
um, so I'm doing that. I'm also a board member of Make-A-Wish Los Angeles. So that's a huge, amazing honor and a great undertaking. We have a board meeting this week, actually. Um, I work with a few local charities as well that I really got involved with over quarantine. One of them is Fueling the Fearless. So that's a charity that helps not only restaurants, local restaurants, but and this is a nationwide charity, but there's one in LA. Feeds essential workers, but also takes that money that's donated and buys from suffering restaurants in the community. And then I also work with Water Drop LA, that is founded by two amazing, well, actually four amazing girls who go to USC.
Oh,
And they decided that, they had kind of gone out into the community, mostly on Skid Row in Los Angeles, and seen that there was a massive water shortage. So started dropping off water, and now it's, kind of blossomed into this amazing thing where every Sunday we drop off food, essential items. Especially right now, it's been raining and very cold. Hypothermia is big for the homeless here. Um, so direct contact with the homeless on most Sundays. What else am I doing? a lot of other stuff, a lot of collaborations. I work with a lot of brands on my like influencer side. Um, yeah, I mean, I think that's the breadth of it, but there's probably a lot more that I forget about.
Awesome. And I was actually, I mean, it's funny because this past weekend, I think I've, like most women out there, have accumulated so much like sweatpants, loungewear, athleisure that I needed to like dedicate a whole area of my closet to it.
Yes.
So I like moved everything out. And like, what has kind of this time period like brought to your brand? Like, what was some of the inspiration behind everything, and like how have you seen your business grow?
Well, it's grown like an insane amount. I don't think that I think, everyone, as everyone did when COVID hit, we kind of all braced ourselves for uncertainty. We are so thankful that we're an LA based brand, and we produce in Los Angeles. And because a lot of the places that we do produce were making PPE, they were allowed to continue, obviously at a much slower pace, but we were able, and we actually had stock that we were sitting on that we had made before. So we kind of flourish. We make sweats, we make cool kind of high end fashion sweats. And I think at a certain point, people were sick of just wearing the same yoga pants every day. And we got into about 30 stores, mostly online, obviously. Our online sales have skyrocketed. We took our time also to kind of figure out what the community was looking for. We did also some live series, blogging and talking to our customers, and everyone was like, just make more sweats. So that's what we've been doing. And the cool thing about the market right now is that, amazing, awesome designer brands are kind of getting into our market, the sweat athleisure market, and we were already here. So it was, it wasn't really a jump. It was where we've been the whole time. So we're happy that people are appreciating it and are comfy at home, staying safe in our sweats.
Yeah, no, for sure. And I feel like, I mean, even the way it's changing fashion now, I feel like a lot of kind of the styles I'm seeing are wearing sweats, but like pairing it with like heels and a blazer.
Yeah.
And I think that's just so cool that as we, like, fingers crossed, exit this period soon,
Yeah.
this will like stay in our kind of like, I mean, honestly, I just hope it does, because I've personally put so much money into
100%.
sweats. I'm like, I can't just have this sit in my closet now.
Yeah. I mean, I think that that's the great thing too. I think people are starting to shift their focus. They're realizing they want to either be comfortable, or if they're going to be wearing something that's more expensive, it's going to be an investment. So, I think it's definitely shifting the idea. Also, putting money into things that have a mission and an idea behind them. We have done a lot of stuff with Love Trust, where we've given back, a percentage of our funds to different charities, and that's something that we're going to be doing from now until, forever. So we pick different charities, we give percentages, and sometimes we're going to pick, a piece, and 100% will be given to a specific charity. So I think that's the shift that's happening. People really want to make sure that what they're doing, and if they're spending money on something, it's not just, something they're going to throw away in 3 months.
No, that's awesome. And I think that mentality I was like literally talking about this with a friend yesterday, this kind of mentality of like really caring where your money goes and like who's receiving that is resonating kind of like through all areas of our life. Like we were talking about how great we feel about just, buying from the farmer's market versus, going to a supermarket, because we can actually see the person who
Yes.
will directly be benefited. And that's such a great feeling.
It's a huge thing. I mean, one of the things that I started doing was buying from this amazing company here called County Line Harvest. So they basically make a box from a bunch of different local farmers. And because the farmers markets at a certain point weren't allowed to be open, you know, a lot of these local farmers that obviously aren't doing big business were losing a lot of revenue. So County Line Harvest just started making these boxes, and I was buying from them, and I've continued. And that's something, you know, I feel like, you know, obviously COVID has been really horrible, but it's definitely, as we're saying, like it's refocused people on what is important. And for me specifically, it's really made me think about my community more, and supporting my community as far as, you know, maybe not like it's not like I'm never going to buy anything from Amazon again, but if I can buy it from someone local, or if I can support a local artist or support a local store, I'd rather do that. And I think that that's where COVID has kind of, you know, been a benefit to people, if you want to
Yeah.
see a silver lining.
No, 100%. And you mentioned that a lot of this kind of charity work you started during COVID. I think, you know, obviously this was a period where we had a lot of self-reflection and looked at like, what are we doing now? Like, what do we want to be doing? Was there kind of like an aha moment? Like, what kind of drove you to throw so much of your time into this?
I think, I mean, I don't know if there was an aha moment. I think I started, I think one of the things I did was, you know, I really realized that a lot of the people that I knew who had local businesses or were really suffering, where my business was flourishing. And for me, it was really important. If I'm, you know, I've always been drawn to philanthropy, but what was mostly important for me was the realization that I was doing really well, and not, my mom says, she's like, not everyone was 2020ing the way you were. You know, so I was kind of, I was thriving a little bit in quarantine. I was kind of enjoying the self-reflection, and obviously that was, you know, something that not everyone had the benefit of doing. And my business was doing really well. So it was really important to me to take the time to give back. And a good friend of mine started that Fueling the Fearless. And she asked me if I could help, basically just to repost something on my Instagram. And I thought that that was, excuse my language, kind of bullshit. I wasn't just going to repost. I wanted to actually do it. So I started, you know, picking up the food and dropping it off to essential workers. And when I started doing that, I realized, like, it can't just be one thing. It has to be everything. It's all encompassing. We really have to like start focusing back on our communities. And that's when we do things like that, that's when everyone benefits.
What was like one moment you had with another person that kind of, was there any like life-changing interactions you've had?
Oh, I mean, every time I go downtown and work with the homeless on Skid Row, and I actually, I should be calling them the unhoused. There, you know, there's so many open homes here that could be filled with these people. You know, there's a lot of government subsidies that need to happen, but nonetheless, I think every time I think people are very scared. When you drive through Skid Row, it's a scary place. I'm not going to lie. You know, there's trash everywhere. People are, you know, unkept because there's nothing given to them. So going out there and being there was, you know, a scary thing to do at the first. And I took my mother the first time I went. And everyone is so kind, so grateful, so loving. Just wants to talk to you, just wants to say thank you. And a lot of these people are newly homeless. And that really was life-changing for
Wow.
me to see how over the few months that I've been going, to see how many more new people were living in their cars or things of that nature. And that what really struck me. And that was something definitely life-changing for me. I mean, I don't think I'll ever not want to work directly with people after that. You know, that being able to give someone the opportunity to interact with people who are just trying to give them something, that are non-judgmental, aren't trying to arrest them or tell them that they can't stay there, just trying to give them a meal, ask them how they're doing. That's, for me, like, that, you know, that's the end all be all. I'll always be happy to do that.
That's incredible. Yeah, I
Thank
mean,
you.
that is
but it gives more to me. I feel selfish doing it. I'm sorry, my little stand that I have is like falling off. That's just the reality of the situation. It's falling. I mean, I feel grateful. I feel selfish because I leave feeling amazing, and I'm actually, I, you know, I feel so good, and and they're still there. So charity work is selfish, really.
Yeah, I mean, I know the feeling you're referencing.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, when it was back in March, we gave out a ton of PPE across LA, and
Amazing.
the feeling that you're describing is exactly what I felt too.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, totally. Well, I definitely have to hit you up after this because I've been wanting to get
Oh
more
my God,
involved in some.
please
I definitely will.
come with me. It's an amazing experience. Just even once, I try to take, everyone I know with me once because it's such a life-changing experience. And also, it's even more of a risk right now, obviously. It's, we're in the middle of a pandemic. There is a lot of incidence of COVID in the homeless population in Los Angeles. So understandably, you're taking a risk, but they know that you're taking a risk by being there and are that much grateful. So more grateful.
Yeah, 100%. No, I mean, being downtown is a big part of my life, working in fashion. So
me too.
All the more reason.
Exactly.
So another question I have, and there's a few that I always like to ask.
Sure.
As a female entrepreneur, there's a lot of women out there watching, and there's always a lot of women that want to get out there and start their own business and become entrepreneurs themselves. What is like one, or I guess it could be more than one, but what are a couple things that you would suggest to anyone that's kind of looking to get out there?
I think, whatever your field is, do your research, make sure that you know it back and forth. But it's going to be a learning process. I got in, I worked as a stylist, a personal shopper. I worked in retail. I put shoes on people's feet. It definitely, I learned all aspects of my business a little bit before I jumped into it. I also always suggest that have a really good business partner. Not everyone, you can't necessarily do everything. I mean, there are many, many amazing people who are the business and the talent. For me, I just like being creative. And if that's something that you love to do, if you want to be creative, it behooves you to try to find someone who wants to be the business end of a business where they think that you're, the end all be all of design or whatever it is. And vice versa. If you are just really like in it to win it as far as business, maybe look for someone who, wants to be creative in whatever field that is. My business partner and I are I think we're like a powerhouse together because I get to be creative and, and play with fabrics and look at trims and buttons and she is, chasing down money and invoicing and, making sure that we have enough stock of everything. She's really like paying attention to the details that I would be curled up in a corner crying if I had to deal with a Google Doc the way that she does. So, that's important. And also just do it. Like if you're really passionate about it, but know that you really love it because you will be crying over it at some point. It will break you a little bit at some point. So know that you really love what you're going to do because it will also be your stress. It has to be something that you're very, very in love with. Otherwise, you won't be able to push through. I love my job. Even when I hate my job, I love my job. So it really needs to be something that's like a full passion for you. It can't just necessarily be something that you think you'll make money from because you'll never be able to deal with the amount of stress that comes from, it becoming successful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And what were some of like the biggest challenges that you'd faced?
Oh God. Everything. Everything. I mean, I think a lot of people think that like, especially I would say because of my last name, that it was real easy. And it definitely was not. Some of the challenges, you know, we jumped into wholesale really quickly and got burnt. You know, we weren't paying attention. We were a little trigger happy. That's another thing. Take your time. Every deal that you get isn't going to necessarily be the right deal for you. Don't just say yes because they're offering you money. You know, make sure that it's right. Consult a lawyer. um, you know, some of the other challenges, I mean, I think we've had a lot of challenges in growing. We've definitely had a lot of growing pains. We've grown really quickly. And, you know, we've been in business for 3 years, and this year is the year that we've really flourished. So there were, you know, 2 some odd years, and I mean, a year of before that where we, you know, struggled. We were, you know, and we're self-funded. No one passed along, you know, a bunch of money to us to do it. You know, I was working a lot of random things, and Emily, my business partner, and I were still working like stylists and retail and doing stuff to make money so that we didn't have to pay ourselves, so all the money could go back into the company. And that's the kind of thing, like if you're not willing to do those kind of things and not pay yourself for 2 years, don't do it. Because
Yeah.
that's the reality of entrepreneurship, you know. It's hard. It's beautiful right now. Now 3 years in, I just feel like I feel like I can breathe, but doesn't mean that every day there isn't like a huge obstacle and I don't, you know, feel frustrated. But I wouldn't change it for the world.
So post kind of like quarantine, all of this, when everyone's back in the world
Yeah.
doing normal things, what's next?
Well, you know, we're always in kind of a transitional mode because of the way fashion works. I mean, I'm always designing a new collection. I feel like every every other day is a new collection. And then, you know, we're always producing. So our spring summer collection drops in February. And then we just, you know, finished designing fall winter. And that means that as soon as that's photographed, we start doing the next season. So we're going to be doing a lot more. We do a lot of like fun little artist collabs. We, you know, we like to work with people in our community that are, you know, cool, awesome artists. So, you know, we'll be doing a lot of those things, and obviously more charitable. Spring summer is called Lotta Trust Mania. And the a lot of the pieces from that will have a charitable component for mental health.
Wow, that's awesome.
Thanks.
Can you give us a little like taste of what the collection looks like?
It's really bright and colorful, super fun and poppy. If you go on the Instagram, Lotta Trust, it is there's like a little sneak peek. I mean, a lot of tie-dye, which is still fun, and you know, we started doing pretty early on, and I don't think we'll ever die for us, but a lot of tie-dye, a lot of new cool colors that we kind of you know, came up with on the fly. And then you know, it's just bright and loud, kind of like Mania, and you know, we don't shy away from that. So even the whites are really, really white.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I've done like a couple of tie-dye little things
Yeah,
outside. It's so fun.
it's so fun. Tie-dye is the best. And honestly, it was so cool. We've been doing kind of the same tie-dyes for a couple of years now, and they're just our best sellers. And it's funny because we just thought, you know, we do a little tie-dye collection like 2.5 years ago, and you know, people maybe would like it. We weren't really sure. It's tie-dye, and people are still buying it. I mean, it's in like every retailer that we work with, which is crazy because it was, you know, something we did as like a capsule collection just to see, because we started as a denim jacket brand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so You never know
Yeah.
where you're going to go. That's another
No,
little tidbit.
I don't think tie-dye is going
Anywhere.
No.
No. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just looking through. I think we have time for one question. There's like so many comments, so I'm just scrolling on
mine
through.
is like not loading. I was like, does no one commenting?
I like, let's see. There's a lot of good ones in here.
Oh yeah, whatever. You can ask a bunch. I don't care. And I'm a pretty open book unless it's like
how
super
has your
personal.
mom been? Chloe asks, how has your mom been an inspiration for the work that you do?
Oh, my mom is a huge inspiration to me. Or maybe they're talking about your mom.
No, you.
Yeah. My mom is a huge inspiration to me. My mom is one of those people who has told me, like, probably from the beginning of time, that I could do anything I wanted to do. And I mean, she's amazing. A little background about me, quickly, was I was a political science major. I was pre-law for a bit. I really wanted to get into politics. And I started my master's in international relations and diplomacy. My mom was like, you'd be an amazing lawyer. You'd be an amazing diplomat. You'd be, she thinks I'd be a phenomenal therapist. I'd be, an awesome everything. So everything I've ever done, she's been like 100% behind me. But especially with this, there were probably 100 times where I was like, I'm done. I can't do it anymore. I don't know. I'm not making any money. This is crazy. What do I think I'm doing? Like, why do I think this is going to succeed? And she was probably the one who told me the most, like, keep going, which is also like a really huge thing. If you can push through, you'll probably succeed. It's most people who give up. I mean, obviously there are reasons to give up on a business. If you're $150,000 in debt, you might not want to do that. But she has always been like a huge support for me. So yeah, she's an inspiration, and she's also incredibly fashionable. So that was helpful.
Does she wear everything?
She does. Yeah, most of my family members wear everything. I think, like, and the great thing about it is they're doing it when they're comfy and at home, and like, happy, and it's not necessarily like out, and I like to know that they're just doing it when they're like, that's their happy place, is like putting on one of my sweatshirts. So that's cool for me.
Yeah, totally. That is really nice. Okay, one last question. We have Kathleen's asking, how would you describe your personal style now?
Oh, my personal style now is workout pants and a lot of trust sweatshirts. But I think my style has always been a bit androgynous, which is why, and like eclectic, which is why a lot of trust is a unisex brand. I always tended to, even if I went to like Zara, I would go to the men's section, so that, no one would be wearing what I was wearing. But I think it's, it's fun. I still like wearing bright things, but it's comfortable. It's easy. It's throw on. But I also think that you can wear sweats and make them, designer. And so that's kind of where I went with designing this stuff for a lot of trust. But for me personally, it's a lot of the same jewelry every day. It's minimal makeup.
Yeah.
It's easy. And I think that that's what is great about what happened in 2020 is people have pared down all the crap and really like gotten back to what they really like, and less worry about what everyone else thinks. Mostly because they're not seeing as many people, but
totally.
I think it will become a routine that way, which is great.
Yeah, a lot of dressing from the waist up.
Yeah.
You're like,
yeah, I'm like, I
have
no idea what you're wearing underneath. It could be boxers.
Could be sweatpants.
Good.
No, I'm actually wearing some real, like leather leggings.
Oh, good for you.
I try to I do like an every off day, because I have a lot of Zoom calls, so
That's smart.
I'll like try to get up and do the whole thing, but a lot of the days I'll like just do like a full face of makeup, blow out my hair, and then like I'm still wearing sweats.
Yeah, I mean, a full face of makeup and blow. And my mom was just saying the other day, she was like, I started doing my makeup again just for like random things because I had to like make sure I still knew how to do my makeup.
Oh yeah, that's a real thing. I think the first time I put on eyeliner, it was like,
yeah, exactly. Well, you look great.
Oh, you too.
Thank you.
Well, Alana, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jesse. I really appreciate it. And I talk an ear off, so I appreciate you listening to everything.
No. I truly say this every week. It's really like the highlight of having these talks is the highlight of my month, because I think like, especially now, everyone's really like pared down their circle to like the couple people that you like really love. And I love those people, but I think I know every last detail of their life right now. So hearing a new voice and a new perspective is really refreshing.
I agree. Thank you so much. This has been amazing. And what a great, like, motivating start to my day. Now I'm heading downtown.
Perfect. All right. Well, I'll talk to you soon. And everyone, thank you guys so much for joining. For all updates on the Women Who Do series, just make sure to follow Anne Klein Official on Instagram and Anne Klein on Facebook.
Thank you.
And Alana.
Yeah. Thanks, Jesse. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.